What's up, team? It's Coach Celeste, F45 Largo East. I just wanted to touch base with everyone, see how everybody's doing, say hello. I know we are in a very scary time. I think that's probably the best word to use. I know some of you guys have suggested maybe doing some mental health talks. I do have some articles that I'm going to link to this video that maybe you want to check out afterwards. But I do just, want to just touch base, let everybody know that we are all feeling the same way you're feeling. All right, we are all stressed, we are anxious. I know this is a time people can start getting depressed. We're isolated from people that we are used to seeing every day, friends, family, loved ones. So it's a very trying, very new world. Is probably the best way to use it, best way to say it. I think the overall feeling that we're all experiencing right now is grief. We are grieving the world that we know, grieving the way that, what we're used to every single day, waking up, having that same routine. So we're still in that grieving process. I know these first few weeks have been really trying, very difficult for some people, especially with any kind of pre-existing mental health conditions. So I know this has been probably even more challenging for those people. But I think grief is probably the best word to use to explain what's going on right now. Just grieving, like I said, the normalcy that as we knew it, the world as we knew it. Sorry, I live on a very loud street, apparently. Anyway, so I just thought maybe there was a few tips that we can do, that we can focus on to get through this time. I would say the first thing would be connection, making sure you're staying connected to friends, family, loved ones. Obviously it's the complete opposite of social distancing right now, but thankfully we are living in a virtual world, so we can stay connected online, phone calls, texts, Zoom, chat rooms. There's so many ways to stay connected with people. I see a lot of ideas. People are driving around, writing notes on sidewalks, then chalk on the sidewalks. I think that's awesome. I've seen teachers driving by their kids' houses, putting little signs on their doors and just to say hello. So I think that sense of connection is really important right now. Especially if you're one that gets depressed, if you're isolated. So I think that's something that's very important, and that's something that I want to extend my friendship even to. If anybody has nobody else to talk to, call me, text me. If you don't have my number, I'll give you my phone number. Reach out to me, send me a message, Facebook, anything. Give you my phone number if you need me. Give me a call, text me. Secondly, I think that structure is important. We're so used to having a structured life, from the moment we wake up pretty much till when we go to bed. Waking up, eating breakfast, going to the gym, going to work, coming home, having dinner, doing homework with the kids. Our lives are so structured, which is great, in a way, but then now we don't even know how to function without that structure. And structure is very important for our brain to function. We're raised with structure. That's how our brain actually functions best, is with structure. As you're growing up, you need that structure. You need that discipline almost as a child in order to thrive, not just to live, but to thrive. So that's super important even as an adult to have that structure. So right now, it's finding that new sense of normalcy. That sense of normalcy we had before just doesn't exist right now. Most of us are working from home. We have our families around us. I know I'm living in an apartment with 4 adults. It could be challenging, but it's, finding a new normal, finding a new schedule, a new structure, whether it's, now waking up, having breakfast, going for a walk, working out. I get up and I work out on my balcony. It's something completely different. I'm used to getting up, going to work, coming home, same as everybody else. So now it's just finding that new sense of normalcy, that new structure. I think that's important. And I think you need to include not just your workout time, your lunch time, your dinner time, things like that, but I think you need to also include some downtime. I think it's important to include that time just to take for yourself, maybe just go for a walk, read a book, take a nap, and that's okay. Being that we're still in that grieving period, it's okay to take that time off. It's always really okay, because I think that's super important too. People forget to take care of themselves. So I think right now, even more so, it's more important than ever to take care of yourselves. So I think finding that new sense of normalcy, that new structure is really important, and trying to stick with that so you don't fall off. Especially like say if we're working out, for example. Obviously, if you don't have that structure, some of us are used to waking up, working out at 5:15 a.m., going to work. Now they're waking up and it's, you start sleeping in later and later and later, and you start beating yourself up because you're not working out like you were before, and that's normal. That's completely normal. I've been hearing that, from many of our members. So I think it's important to still stay into that same routine, still wake up, work out, maybe not 5:15. It doesn't necessarily have to be that early. But I think it's important to still maintain some type of structure, that when you wake up, you still work out, then you have your breakfast, then you take a shower, get dressed. Very important to get dressed every day. Do not stay in your pajamas. That could be disastrous. All right, you're gonna start getting really depressed, sitting on the couch, watching Netflix, binge eating, and not realizing that your clothes aren't gonna fit you when you try to get dressed again. So I think one of the biggest things is to get dressed. Take a shower, wash your hair, get dressed, put some makeup on if you feel, you will feel better about yourself. I'm telling you, it's true. If you don't believe me, try it. All right. So I think that's important. Next, I think, is control. Third is control. Right now, I'm a control freak personally. I think everybody out there probably knows that already. We don't really have any kind of sense of control right now. Nobody in the world right now does. It's that fear of the unknown. You don't know what's going to happen from day to day, really from hour to hour. Everything changes. These shelter in place orders. There's so many changes that are going on that we really feel like we have no control. So I think that, that serenity prayer, really is fitting for here. That would God grant me the serenity to control the things I can. I forgot. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot control, the knowledge. Oh, I'm messing this one up big time. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That's it. I haven't really gone to many AA meetings. I know they say that all the time, but that is very applicable to everyday life. All right, that's serenity prayer. We cannot control everything, but there are things we can control. Things you can control are getting up, working out, making sure you're eating something healthy, making sure you're getting dressed, making sure you keep that positive attitude, making sure you keep that social distance, maintaining those CDC recommendations. Those are things that you can control. So instead of focusing on the things you can't control, let's focusing on the things you can control. And the fourth one is boundaries. We all need boundaries. You need to set limits. Setting limits on the time you spend on social media, the time you spend watching the news. I know we're all flooding our brains, flooding our minds with, all this disaster information, and knowledge is power. Absolutely. I believe you should absolutely know what's going on. You should keep up to date with it, but it's not something I think you should be flooding your brain with 24/7. I think there needs to be a time where you shut it all off, go for a walk, take a nap, read a book, disconnect. All right. You are not, and I don't even think you should keep your phone on constantly and be available constantly. Okay. Unless you're an ER doctor or nurse or someone that's, you're taking care of someone that you constantly need to be in connection. I think there needs to be a time where you put your phone down and walk away. All right. You need, now more than ever, you need you time. All right. You need to make sure you're taking that you time. Disconnect from everybody else, walk away, take some time just to breathe, just to relax, meditate, pray, exercise, whatever it is that you need to do for you. All right. That's it. Sit in a quiet room. That's it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. And don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. There's nothing wrong with sitting there doing nothing, especially now. All right. That is important. All right. For our mental health, for our sanity, for our anxiety. I know a lot of us are going through a lot of anxiety right now. That is the best thing to do, is take a break. All right. Take a break. No one's going to fault you for that. All right. That busyness, that constant busyness does not always equal accomplishment. All right. You can't always stay busy. You have to take that downtime. All right. That doesn't make you less of a person or less of anything. That actually is more important than anything. All right. So just to, sum up, I think connection, structure, control, boundaries, I think they're all super important right now. And just realizing that we are grieving the world as we know it, and the world that will probably never be the same, but that's okay. It's going to be a new normal. I think we've gone through this before, 9/11, things were never the same, but we all adapted to the new normal. So I think at some point we will get to that point. Right now, it's probably going to be a while, and that's okay, because we have each other. All right. Always remember that we are not in this alone. You are not in this alone. We all have each other. This is what we are here for. From our fit family on down to our family members, friends, acquaintances, we are all in this together. All right. The entire world right now. All right. So you have to be gentle with each other. Be gentle with yourself. That is really the key. Spend that time with yourself. All right. And also spend the time with people that you live with your family, with your friends. Get to really know them. Shut that phone off. Put that phone down and actually have a conversation. I know that's very hard to do these days. All right. Because we're so used to being so busy, not having that time to do that. Now's the time to do that. Okay. Put your phone down. Have a conversation with the person you live with your spouse, with your family member, your child. Have some fun. Create a new normal. Get to know each other. Fall in love all over again. Really get to know that person that you're with. All right, or the people that you live with. All right, because honestly, this moment is all we are promised. That's it. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. You're not guaranteed your next breath. So right now, you take advantage of the present moment, and that is it. All right, you keep that positive attitude. You stay strong. You reach out if you need help. Obviously, reach out to friends, family, myself. There are also the telehealth, mental health professionals that are available. Like I said, I will connect some links, more things for you to read or watch here. And if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Let me know. I'm here. All right, team. Stay strong. Love you guys.